alone, so just stop calling me up. Just realize that we're done, don't come back. And I need to do this alone, so just stop calling me up. Just realize that we're done, I won't come back. I have dreams about us, I just want it to stop. Because I miss you so much, I miss the way we touch, and I need to make it stop.
This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
The following program is rated M.A.L.S.V. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Well, it does not matter who the host is. Today's Tuesday, June the 8th of 2021, day 159th of the year, and only 206 days left to go. Anyways, hopefully everything's off to a grand start in your neck of the woods, whatever the hell you have going on in this fantastic week so far. Anyways, we are broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse. Yes, I did say the multiverse of Safety FM, and then we're hanging out with our sister station, you know, the one that's on that other side. Well, maybe the one that's on that other side. Let's try that again.
USA, Canada, UK.
Let's try that again.
Radio.
Okay, so we're hanging out with our sister station, Radio Big, that at some point in my life, I will start getting this fluing and moving and all that kind of fun stuff. Anyway, so as we start off every morning talking about what we're seeing inside of the world, the trends, the things that are coming around, coming about, and all that kind of fun stuff. So let's go through that right away. So let's talk about what is trending according to the music trends that is currently out there and around and about right now. So at the top 5 songs that are coming across on Spotify and iTunes. So here we go. At number 5, Nelly, Florida Georgia Line, Little Bit. At number 4, Dua Lipa, Levitating, featuring The Baby. At number 3, Olivia Rodrigo, Good For You. At number 2, Mass Wolf, Astronaut in the Ocean. And at the number 1 spot, according to iTunes, is Tom McDonald, Snowflakes. Okay, so let's flip it over to the Spotify side of the house, and here you go. At number 5, Doja Cat, Kiss Me More. At number 4, Lil Nas X, Call Me By Your Name. At number 3, Bad Bunny, Jonogunim. At number 2, Raw Alejandro, Todo De Ti. And at number 1, according to Spotify, is Good For You. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of that sequence of events as we're starting off this lovely, fantastic Tuesday as we're going through the things. Anyways, a lot of information to cover today, as you know, because that's what we do on every single episode here. So a lot of stuff going on, but let's get to see our friends at Feature Story News and get the ball rolling there on what they have to say.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Chris Jones. India's daily COVID-19 infections have dipped to a 2-month low. The country recorded close to 87,000 cases on Tuesday, less than a quarter of its world record tally reported in early May. But experts say the low vaccination rate could hamper India's progress. Ishan Garg reports from New Delhi.
With just under 5% Indians fully vaccinated, authorities are worried about a third wave. Even though daily infections have dipped, experts say vaccinating at least 1 billion people is the only long-term solution, which is why the federal government has scrapped the policy which asked states to procure vaccines from an open market. Now 75% of all shots will be purchased by the government of India and distributed for free, and the remaining 25% will be purchased by private hospitals. It's hoped that by streamlining streamlining vaccine procurement, more vaccines will reach beneficiaries in a shorter span of time. Ishan Garg, New Delhi.
Another 2.7 million people aged 25 to 29 are being invited to book a coronavirus vaccine in England. The UK has seen a slow rise in COVID-19 cases over the past few days, but virologist Professor Jonathan Ball says that offering young people the jab could bring down infection rates.
There's a lot of transmission in this younger age group, and therefore vaccinating them will help to reduce the number of cases. And of course, it also prevents the virus from finding out those people who are more vulnerable.
China is pressing ahead with a law that would counter foreign sanctions as its rivalry with the US intensifies. The country's top legislature has submitted a second draft of the legislation, described by state media as a necessary move to block interference against Chinese entities and officials. And NATO's Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg says that he and US President Joe Biden agreed on the importance of strengthening the Transatlantic alliance in a meeting at the White House. It comes just a week before the NATO leaders summit in Brussels. Kate Fisher reports from Washington.
Mr. Stoltenberg said that he and the president discussed how to reinforce the alliance in the face of challenges, including global terrorism and climate change, as well as strained ties with Russia and China. He acknowledged that cooperation with China offered opportunities for Western economies, but that there were difficulties in the relationship since China, quote, does not share our values. He said they agreed on a dual-track approach with Russia of deterrence, defence and dialogue. Joe Biden is set to meet Russia's President Vladimir Putin in Geneva following the NATO and G7 leaders' summits. Kate Fisher, Washington.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, with more today on the announcement by Amazon founder Jeff Bezos that he's going on a trip into space next month, July the 20th, on board one of his own spaceships, joined by his brother Mark and a third passenger who will win an auction to secure a seat on the history-making flight. But what exactly will they all be doing? Where are they going and how long will they be there? Libby Jackson is a space exploration expert with the UK Space Agency.
This spacecraft is going into space, but it's not going all the way into orbit like you might imagine the astronauts who go to the International Space Station. They've built a spacecraft that's been in testing now for many years, and it's a rocket that's going to take off, basically kick itself up into the atmosphere, a little bit like you are kicking a football. That's going to go up 100 miles in an arc and back down. And whilst it's going up and over the top and falling back down to Earth, everything inside it will be weightless. It's all going to be falling to Earth at the same speed. And so you'll be floating just like the people on the International Space Station.
Should you be interested in being the third passenger, you should be aware that the current high bid in the auction is topping $2.8 million. The proceeds going to a foundation that promotes careers in science, technology, engineering and maths. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap our top stories, India's daily COVID-19 infections have dipped to a 2-month low. Another 2.7 million people aged 25 to 29 are being invited to book a coronavirus vaccine in England. China is pressing ahead with a law that would counter foreign sanctions as its rivalry with the US intensifies. And NATO's Secretary-General says that he and the US President Joe Biden agreed on the importance of strengthening the Transatlantic alliance. That's the latest feature story news. Chris Jones reporting.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, Let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Hey everyone, let's all stop what we're doing and take a moment. You see, every moment can be kind of special. But they can be loud moments, goofy moments, dorky moments, it doesn't matter. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Support for Safety FM is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with the exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code SAFETY at manscaped.com. Imagine shaving with a sleek, well-designed, and optimized trimmer that makes shaving time your favorite time in the bathroom. I'm one of the first people to try the new 4.0, and I'm blown away by the performance. The craftsmanship and the detail on the 4.0 are next level. You know, more times of actually handling blades and becoming a bloody mess, if you know what I'm saying there. Manscaped engineered the ultimate growing and body trimmer by focusing on intelligent functionality and incredible, comfortable grooming experience. The 4th-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. This upgraded trimmer includes a multi-function on-off switch that can engage a travel lock. It also gives the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for some precise shave. The Lawnmower 4.0 even allows you to customize your trim throughout additional guards, lengths with sizes 1 through 4. Did I mention that it's wireless charging? Yeah, not a joke here. The new wireless charging system uses electromagnetic induction, which can help battery length last longer. Men, if you've been shaving with the same nut trimmer on your face, you've been doing it wrong. No person wants to end up with pubes in their mouth. It's time to get your own ball hair and body trimmer with Manscaped to make me time the best time and enhance your confidence with some nice, smooth boys. Get 20% off and free shipping with code SAFETY at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. Get 20% off and free shipping with code SAFETY at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code SAFETY. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, here we are, 13 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out real quick. So there you go. You heard a lot of stuff going on from the friends that feature Story News. So let's start getting into the hit list so we can start talking about some of the stuff that is going on inside of the world. So as you already heard, Jeff Bezos is set to become the first billionaire in space. The 57-year-old man announced yesterday that he will fly into space on Blue Origin's first crewed flight. The flight is scheduled for July the 20th, which is 2 weeks after he is set to resign as the CEO of Amazon. His younger brother, Mark Bezos, 53, will join him, as well as the winner of the public auction currently being held for the final seat. As of Monday, bidding was at $2.8 million. Just for information purposes, of course, worth noting on July the 20th is also the 52nd anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing, just in case you didn't know that one.
Duh.
Okay, so let's continue talking about some other things. Another violent weekend in Chicago left 5 people dead and 50 other people injured. Yes, that is 50. The youngest victim was an 11-year-old girl and a 15-year-old boy were shot in 2 separate incidents while incoherently standing outside. They were both rushed to the hospital and were expected to survive. No arrests have been made in either shooting. Between 6 p.m. Friday and 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, there were 41 reported shootings, according to the Chicago Department of Police. There you go. Worth asking, what do we got to do now? I mean, here's what we talk about this all the time. I mean, I don't know. I mean, something to think about as we do talk about it. What do you think there as you hear about this? I know a lot of stuff, but hey, we had to cover a lot of information short period of time. Anyways, let's continue talking. FDA approved Biogen's Alzheimer's drug yesterday. The drug will be known as, let's butcher the name, Adulhim, I believe is what it is, which has received mixed reviews following clinical trials, is the first new authorized therapy to treat Alzheimer's in nearly 2 decades. The Alzheimer's Association called the approval the beginning of a completely new future for Alzheimer's treatment. So there you go. Interesting to see on how tech and, how tech changes things inside of the world as we move forward with a lot of this stuff. I mean, think about it real quick as we are talking here for just a brief moment. Think about how technology has changes inside of the medical field have been occurring over the last little bit, and this is just going to be another thing to amplify the things that are going on. So some interesting stuff for sure as we're talking here.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, a Florida man. Oh, let me rephrase that. A Florida man tossed a 2-month-old baby at an officer after taking them and the baby on a high-speed chase. An officer tried to pull over John Henry James III, 36-year-old, last week, but he refused to stop his vehicle. He then led the police on a high-speed chase through a residential neighborhood. He eventually pulled up to an apartment complex and took off running with the baby in his arm. At one point, he tossed the baby about 6 feet as he had tried fleeing the approaching officers. The child was safely caught by one of the officers. James struggled with the arresting officer and was treated by paramedics after claiming that he couldn't breathe. He now faces charges of aggravated battery with an officer, firefighter, EMT, reckless driving, resisting arrest, and aggravated child abuse. Man, I mean, at some point you have to think you're going to get caught. So why the hell even try to run the thing? I mean, I'm just asking the question there. Of course, that's all I can do because what the hell do I know? Anyway, 17 minutes past the top of the hour, Johnny Smalls is about to come in and give us what's going on inside of the market. So take a listen now.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Tuesday, June 8th, 2021. The equity market started the week on a mixed footing following another round of weaker-than-expected labor data. The May non-farm jobs report came in below expectations for the second month in a row, raising serious doubts about the U.S. economy's ability to rebound this summer. If the S&P 500 is unable to fill a record number of open jobs, all of the estimates for future earnings growth become meaningless, and with them, the value of S&P 500 stocks. The market focus is also on the May read of the Consumer Price Index. The CPI data will be released later in the week. It's the most current data on consumer inflation and markets. A hotter-than-expected number was released in May and caused the market to sell off on fear of rising interest rates. If the CPI data comes in hot again, the market could be in for another big sell-off. The current consensus is for a gain of 0.5% from the previous month. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at MarketBeatMinute.com.
Okay, so there you go. That's Johnny Smalls letting us know from his version on what the hell's going on over there. So let's go ahead and kind of flip it around a little bit real quick. Monday's session produced a mixed result at the close as the Dow dipped about 126 points. The NASDAQ gained about 67 points, and the S&P lost about 3 points. Traders remain worried about the looming threat of rising interest rates. Investors are also taking notice that the recent trend is emerging with consumer debt on the rise for the third consecutive month. Meme stock popular on social media followers, surged today, and then both AMC and GameStop added more than 13%. So some interesting things definitely going on inside of the market as we are talking about it. So some stuff to think about as you are investing, if you are investing. So there's one thing or another. Anyways, Michigan health officials reported that the state's first human case of deadly hantavirus. They confirmed that the case involves a woman who was recently hospitalized with serious pulmonary illness from Sin Nombre Hantavirus, the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services said. According to the statement, she is likely contracted the virus cleaning an occupied dwelling that contains signs of an active rodent infestation. The rat-borne illness is passed to patients when they breathe in air contaminated with the virus through rodent droppings or through the bite from an infected rodent. It can't be transmitted person to person. This all sounds very familiar, doesn't it?
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Okay, so let's talk about this one. Did you hear about this new little thing? Oreo is offering its double stuff Oreos to extraterrestrial creatures wanting to visit Earth. This is not a joke. The company announced the welcome gift was part of their mission to bring all life forms together and treat them to Earth's favorite cookie. The statement was shared alongside a photo of a wheat field in Kansas that had the Oreo cookie-style crop circle in the middle of it. The offer comes after a recent U.S. intelligence report revealed that the government does not have an explanation for certain objects spotted flying in the sky. So what do you think? What do you think about the marketing here? I always think about this and go, well, this is a marketing opportunity. And us as safety pros, do we take those same opportunities to do stuff like that? Because that's something to think about. You always have to take the correct opportunity when it does become available to you. Anyway, some things to think about as we are talking here this morning about everything that's going on. Anyways, let's continue talking a little bit more about what is going on inside of the world of the news. One student is dead and another injured after a shooting at a New Jersey school athletic field. Mosa Fofana, 18, was shot late Sunday and died at the scene, while another male student, age unknown, was shot in the leg and treated at a local hospital. No details were shared, so here you go. The story is still developing. Let's continue. 2 suspects have been arrested in connection with the road rage shooting that killed a 6-year-old boy in California. Eric Marcus Anthony, 24, and Lee Wynn, 23, were arrested on Sunday and charged with murder in the May 21st death of Aiden Leos. Aiden was being driven to school by his mom when they were cut off by another vehicle as his mom switched lanes to avoid the vehicle. She said that she heard a loud noise and soon discovered her child had been shot. The boy was rushed to a hospital and was pronounced dead. The men are expected to be formally charged with murder later today. But, that's the craziness that we talk about in regards of Acela Rousel. We were talking about that last week, or we can talk about it as road rage, however you want to take a look at this. But it becomes an interesting conversation, of course, as we move forward on how do you get so pissed off, because that's what it is. You're so pissed off that somebody cuts you off that you think the best course of action that I could do now is actually come up with a gun and shoot someone because they cut me off. I keep on looking at this Cybertruck thing and go, man, with bulletproof metal or whatever the hell, the vehicle's supposed to be bulletproof, doesn't sound that bad after all.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
Okay, let's continue a little bit more. A Texas woman has gone viral on TikTok after sharing a video about finding a tracking device in her purse. Sheridan Ellis told followers that she was cleaning out her purse after a night out with her friends and found a tile, a tracking device that people attach to their belongings such as keys and backpacks. She made sure that it didn't belong to anyone who was at the diner before removing the battery. TikTok users were quickly to offer Sheridan advice, which many suggesting she reported to the police. One user told her that to set up a string of operations to give it to one another with a huge male friend. Okay. I don't get it. I mean, I know what a tile is for sure. But how do you know someone wasn't playing a joke on you? Or how do you know that you weren't trying to set it up for some conversation purposes? Because that would be another gimmicky thing to do for sure. I mean, hey, I don't know this lady from anyone else on the planet, that's for sure. But some weird things there to think about. I'm just saying, think about it for a moment.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Hey, look at that. We're doing this a little bit earlier than normal, so let's get to it and let's start talking about those things that we all deem important as we're hanging out here together, and let's get into the main story.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay. We talk about so many things, so many different times inside of the world of all these different things. And we think about our programs, our processes, how we hire people, how we move forward with people, and all this kind of fun stuff. And I will tell you, there has been so many different things that we have used throughout the years that we've said, okay, this makes sense. This is something that we need to do. This is something that we don't need to do, and so on. But let's talk about it real quick. Have you heard of this thing that some people call the M.S.C.W treatment? Yeah, I'm giving you a moment to respond because I know it's important here as you're thinking about it. But think about this for a second. Have you heard of it? So let's think about when you're going to be going through the process of developing a program for your organization, or you're giving recommendations inside of your organization, or you're even going to be hiring someone inside of your organization. So what they call it is the M.S.C.W treatment, and it's M.S.C.W. That's M.S.C.W. Not that I don't know how to spell Moscow, but I'm just telling you how it's actually said. So the M stands for whatever you're going to do must have X. And you kind of write that whole thing down for it. So there you go. That's the first thing. And then you move on to the next portion that says should have. So that's the S. And then we move into C, could have. Got this so far? So M is must, S is should, C is have. So must have, should have, could have, and then the W is won't have. So when you're kind of structuring this on what you want, however you're using this, let's say, for instance, we're building out a safety program inside of our organization, the way that it would work is it must have this, should have that, and could have this, but it won't have X. So if you do this breakdown of the M.S.C.W, must have, should have, could have, won't have, think about how your organization can change. I mean, let's talk about this real quick as we're interacting with the main story about how many times we don't do the process analysis of what the hell we got compared to what we want. We know that there's been something that's been written, but we haven't actually talked to the people inside of the field. We normally have these, these people that sit in these high rises, or we have these people that sit inside of these great organizational buildings, and they're writing out these structures of things that they think that they should have, because they look at it of, okay, if we're going to make money off of this, and this includes safety, we have to do it this way, and this is how we're going to generate or save $1. Opposed to grabbing people from the field and saying, okay, this is how we're going to need to do it, because this is what they do day in and day out. Because here's the thing. We talk about work imagined versus work performed all the time. I mean, you know that. I know that. And we talk about the black line, blue line. Black line is work imagined and then work performed. Overworked, underworked, systems, just the way that it goes. So imagine that when you're developing this, if you start using this acronym to move forward with a lot of it, must have, should have, could have, won't have. And there's so many different things that it can apply to. So think about that for a moment. Besides that, we're talking about programs inside of an organization or a safety program. You could do that as a hiring process. And of course, this is always using hypothesis as we're talking about this stuff, opposed to it just being, let me just throw something together and see what happens. Because a lot of people want to do that. But I think that if we start going into what we really want to have and what we think it should have, and think about it, if you do it in a larger group, it makes it a lot easier. And what your system or hiring process could have, but you definitely know the things that it won't have. It changes so many different aspects of it. Think about that. It's a different approach to simple problems that you already have. And a lot of people struggle with this because they go, well, I don't know if that breakdown makes sense to what we do. Well, it's a breakdown that you actually would adapt to whatever you have going on. So keep in mind the M.S.C.W treatment, just to be on the safe side. I mean, and I know that people will be like, it's a Russian thing or whatever the hell they want to say, voting and all this other stuff. You can say whatever you want.
Duh.
But that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is how you can take this and factor it and change the way that your organization goes. Now, here's the thing. I can ramble on forever about this. That's a simple process that I can normally do. But if you change the things inside of your organization to must have, should have, could have, and won't have, boy, will things be different later down the road. Think about that for a moment. Not a long main story today, but something to think about. But like I always tell people, what the hell do I know? Just a guy behind a microphone.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
So for years, I have been telling you how I sleep so miserably at night, but that has all changed as of recent, and let me tell you why. Let me tell you about my friends at Helix Sleep. Helix Sleep has a sleep quiz that takes just about 2 minutes to complete and matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. Why should you buy a mattress made for someone else? With Helix, you're getting a mattress that you will know will be perfect for the way you sleep. Everybody is unique, and Helix knows that. So they have several different mattress models to choose from. They have a soft, medium, and firm mattress. Mattress is great for cooling you down if you sleep hot. And even at Helix Plus mattresses for plus-size sleepers. I took the Helix quiz, and I was matched with the Helix Midnight Luxe mattress because I wanted something that felt soft, and I sleep on my side. It was such a different approach and exactly on how I was able to sleep. I love it. It's a huge upgrade from what I had before, that's for sure. The kids love it, even though they shouldn't be jumping on my bed, but that's a whole other story. And my wife loves it, which is important. So if you're looking for a mattress, you just take the quiz. You order the mattress, and you're matched to it. And the mattress comes right to your door, shipped for free. You don't even need to go to the mattress store again. Helix is awesome, but you don't need my word for it. Helix was awarded the #1 overall mattress pick of 2020 by GQ and Wired magazine. Just go to helixsleep.com/safety. That's helixsleep.com/safety. There, take the 2-minute sleep quiz, and they'll match you up with a customized mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. They have a 10-year warranty, and you get to try the mattress for 100 nights, risk-free. They'll even pick it up if you don't love it, but you will. Helix is offering up to $200 off of all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/safety. That's helixsleep.com/safety for up to $200 off and 2 free pillows. Don't forget to tell them that Jay Allen sent you.
No more. No, I'm grasping at straws, trying to save myself. Don't wanna be here alone. No. A place we used to go all the time. I need to do this alone, so just stop calling me up. Just realize.
Okay, here we go. It's Until It's Over by Spring Gang featuring Maya. The song's readily available on Spotify and Apple Music. So if you want to go take a listen, knock yourself out with that one. So that's some stuff going on for sure as we are talking this morning. It is 36 minutes past the top of the hour. And you are hanging out here with me on RadioBig.fm and on SafetyFM.com. This is the Rated R Safety Show. Just in case, if you were wondering what the hell you have stumbled upon, just in case. You also might be on the podcast version, depending on how late you're kind of coming into the game. So this morning, our host of Safety Wars, Mr. Jim Polzel, came in and came about and started talking about some stuff this morning, texting me early in la mañana. And he wanted to bring up that the U.S. is to experience its first solar eclipse since 2017 this week. So it had some recommendations on how to watch. I just don't do that stuff. But he did talk about this and did mention some of the things that are going on inside of there. So for the first time since 2017, Americans can watch a solar eclipse from their backyards. In the early morning on Thursday, June the 10th, the moon will block the sun and cast a shadow on Earth. People in parts of Canada, Greenland, northern Russia will be the first to see the ring, or the annular solar eclipse. Since the moon is too far away from the Earth, you will not entirely block the sun. That's another portion that he did reference real quick. Creating the illusion of dark disk on top of a larger bright disk in the sky, according to NASA. Subarctic sky gazers are still in the tree. Those who are in the northeast U.S., eastern Canada, northern Asia, and northern Europe will experience a partial eclipse. So there you go. Some information there. You can always look back at some of the older stuff of what happened back in 2017 if you want to take a look at that. So the eclipse will start roughly about 4:12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and will end about 9:11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the U.S. The time of maximum eclipse varies by location according to Farmer's Almanac. So there you go. Just some information if you wanted to care to know about that. And then it gives some breakdowns of some cities and all that kind of fun stuff. If you want to see some more information about it, just go into first solar or go into Solar Eclipse 2021. Just do a nice little Google search about it, and it will bring up that information right away. By the way, next time, Posel, don't worry, I'm not going to be reading this stuff. I'm going to get you to come on, and we'll talk about it from that standpoint. Makes life a lot easier that way. I don't ever know if I'm hitting the points that you want, man. I never know. I just blab and blab and blab and blab and blab.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
So before I get too far away from the whole thing, let's do this real quick. Let's get our friend John Smalls to come in real quick and tell us about the Motivation Minute for a Tuesday. So here you go.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. Today's quote has been submitted by Holly. Sarah Blakely said, "Embrace what you don't know, especially in the beginning, because what you don't know can become your greatest asset. It ensures that you will absolutely be doing things different from everybody else." I love that quote. I actually remember reading about a student who solved an unsolvable problem because the student didn't know the problem was unsolvable. Sometimes when we're told that something is not possible, that helps us determine that we can't do it. Did you know that it was impossible to fly until the Wright brothers did it? Get out there and try the impossible. Who knows? Maybe you will make it possible. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at radiobig.fm.
Oh, I always love it when somebody tells me something's impossible to do. I just love to hear it. Anyways, let's continue talking real quick about some other things and real quick that are going on inside of the world. A neuroscientist says that he has unlocked the ways to access your brain reset button simply through breathing. Breathing techniques have long been known to help combat stress and anxiety. And the professor Ian Robertson says that his method can help us access the brain's so-called reset button. Robertson, a scientist researching stress and well-being, says that breathing exercises access the part of the brain that produces, here we go, let's butcher this, noradrenaline, the equivalent of adrenaline for the body. He claims that it's important to regulate wow, I can't even read that word. That's fantastic. Noradrenaline. Okay, so there you go. So your system isn't always fight or flight mode, which affects almost your organs of every part of your body. That hits your brain's a reset button. Try practicing 4 to 6 breathing techniques, which involves breathing for 4 seconds, each exhaling about 6 seconds. He calls the exercise a perfectly safe and wonderful little way to mini tranquilize yourself. He also points out that there are very important ways for clarifying your thoughts, for controlling our emotions. Many offer other faculties that you could try as well. Faculties? Really? Not facilities? Or different things? I mean, who knows? Tried it, fell asleep 3 breaths into 6. So there you go. So when my big brother used to press hard on my temple, that wasn't the reset button at all. Damn it. I thought that was it the whole time. I guess I was off.
Duh.
Okay, so let's start continuing here. Quit playing games with my brother. Does your family game night sometimes turn into a family feud? If so, a new study says that you're not alone. 1 in 5 families have actually banned a board game for causing problems on game night, and Monopoly is the worst offender. According to data compiled by one poll, Monopoly stands out as the most debated and most often banned board game of all time. And the recent survey of 2,000 U.S. residents, 20% said that the game night with friends and family members are often always disrupted by competitive and unfriendly behavior. What kind of behavior? Typical antics include someone quitting because they're losing, 46%, someone accusing another player of cheating, 44%, and two other players getting into an argument, 44%. 22% of players said that they have been banned from certain games, and 22% also found that they have been banned certain players from their game nights altogether. Thankfully, only 11% responded to it, said that actually seen physical fight break out. I must admit, my family has enjoyed many evenings of full contact Monopoly. I'm not going to lie there. And yeah, my family takes games pretty seriously. My sister, the only gal that I know that has ever heard of who was stabbed in jail in Monopoly. So there you go. That's something to think about. Well, it's right on the box that it says objects is to beat the other player. So I guess that is some things to think about. Now, I'm going to tell you this as we talk about this. I've seen people flip the stupid board when we're playing Monopoly because they're so pissed off. And here's the thing. People sometimes get all hung up about all these other news stories that I talk about that are not only safety-centric. Guess what? You also have a life outside of not only safety shit. So there you go. So let's continue talking bike sexual. Yeah, I did say bike, B-I-K-E, sexual. These bike riders won't need their usual cycling shirt, pants, skirts, or even underwear. They only need a mask. Organizers of the annual Philly Naked Bike Ride said that this year's event will be taking place on August the 28th and will require masks based on Philadelphia's earlier coronavirus restrictions. Although the city lifted most of the COVID-19 rules last week, ride organizers say that they plan to stick with the initial mask guidance that is enforced that rides were being planned. Participants of the annual Philly Naked Bike Ride usually gather in a park, sometimes by the thousands, to strip off their clothes, their pants, and other body. Hold on here. They take off their clothes, their pants, and other bodies before they're carefully hopping onto their bikes. The purposes of the naked ride is to promote positive body image. Advocates for the safety of cyclists protest of the dependence on fossil fuels. So if I were riding a bike naked, you can bet that I would be wearing a mask, pandemic or no pandemic. This sounds great and all, but where do you put your keys? That's something to think about. And I'm just thinking about where, when it's over, all the new cyclists struggling home alone awkwardly through the neighborhood. That would be kind of awkward. And have you ever thought about how a bike seat works? Oh, that just sounds disgusting.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Okay, 46 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's talk about some real bizarre inventions there that did exist at some point or another, and some patents, some patents and all that kind of stuff. The road rage would be awful. Yeah. Talk about some swinging. Leave it at that. So there you go. There were actually some patents that took place back for some real bizarre inventions. The saluting device, yes, back in 1896. It was a small wound-up mechanical device that sits between a person's hat and their head to salute someone else. The wearer just would take a bow with their head, and the device would tilt and rotate in a manner on how you do. That's a lot of effort to avoid one small arm movement, if you really think about it. Leaf gathering pants was something else that was patented back in 2003. Yep, 2 flexible leg stalls. Yep, not a joke here, with a flexible net stretching between them. It just in case you thought that you didn't look bad enough in your normal yard work clothing, so that's something else that you could have done. A chicken eye protector was actually patented back in 1903. There were, little goggles that could be put around the chicken's eyes from the other fowls who might attack to peck at them. Also handy if the chicken happens to be an aviator. I mean, something to think about. Back in 1876, the mustache guard, a curved shield made out of rubber, metal, or any other suitable material to protect against great inconvenience of the stash that causes in eating and drinking, especially in eating soups, similar foods. Not exactly where I thought we were going to go with this. Was just saying. Not exactly what I thought we were going to be saying, but whatever. Dog chastity belts, 2006. Yeah, actually called the adjustable harness and animal birth control device featuring the underside breathable mesh that's supposed to sit flat against the dog's belly and private parts. So now you know more than what you probably ever cared to know about all that kind of fun stuff. Where the hell are we even going with some of this stuff sometimes?
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's talk about some other stuff going on real quick, because I think this is important. Anyways, no swamp today. No winner for Friday night's Mega Million drawing. Tonight's drawing, let's see, will be for a $56 million jackpot or a $38.3 million cash payout. A winner for the ticket of Saturday's Powerball drawing was sold in Florida. We talked about that yesterday. The winner has the option of $285.6 million jackpot or $196.7 million cash payout. Wednesday's drawing will be for $20 million. That would be tomorrow night. Or a $13.8 million cash payout if someone is to actually win. So there you go. Just some things to think about. Just in some weird news, some things to share with you real quick. New York Mayor Bill de Blasio has enlisted the help of veteran music producer Clive Davis to pull off a mega concert in Central Park to celebrate the city's comeback following the pandemic. De Blasio requested 3-hour show for 60,000 fans with 8 iconic musicians performing Q Davis. The concert will take place at the Great Lawn section of the park on August the 21st. Another thing I wanted to share, just for the sake of talking about it, Christina Ricci has joined the cast of The Matrix 4. She has joined previously announced cast member Keanu Reeves, Carrie Ann Moss, Neil Patrick Harris, and Jada Pinkett Smith. The film plot, Ricci's role are being kept under wraps. The Matrix 4 is set to hit theaters later this year in December. Just for information purposes, for you to know that. Anyways, let's continue talking. Did you hear about Simone Biles picked up the 7th national title at the 2021 U.S. Gymnastics Championships on Sunday? The 24-year-old secured the individual all-around gold after winning the vault, balance beam, and floor routine. With the win, Simone broke the tie she previously held for the most all-around national titles with Clara Lamati, according to NBC reported. So there you go. Some information you might have not known. Anyways, let's talk about some birthdays real quick. Charlotte Lawrence turns 21. Ashley Biden turns 40. Maria Menounos, 43. Kanye West, 45. Julianne Margolis, 55. Frank Grillo, 56. Tim Berners-Lee, 66. Bonnie Taylor, 70. And Nancy Sinatra turns 81 today. Also, today's birthdays, if they hadn't passed, well, still their birthdays, but they're no longer with us, would be Joan Rivers, Jerry Stiller, Barbara Bush, just to mention a few. If we want to talk about some things that happened back on this date, let's do that real quick, because those are always important. So back on this date, let's talk about 2004. The rare Venus transit occurs. It was the first time since 1882 the planet passed between the sun and the Earth. It was visible from Earth as a small black dot moving across the face of the sun. It lasted about 6 hours. The next one is scheduled to occur between somewhere between 2117 and 2125. Something tells me you're not going to get to see it. And if you do, wow, that's pretty amazing.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's talk about some days of the year that you can celebrate today if you're so inclined to do so. National Best Friends Day, National Name Your Poison Day, National Upsy Daisy Day, Call Your Doctor Day, and National World Ocean Day. All days that you can celebrate today if you're so inclined to do so. Hopefully you were born for some of this stuff.
When you're in the courtroom fighting big business, government, or insurance companies, you can't blink because they can smell fear. They have the money and the power to grind you down. And that's why you need me. I'm not afraid, and I don't cut and run. Feiger Law. I was born for this.
That's Feiger Law at 1-800-A-WINNER. That's 1-800-A-WINNER. Feiger Law, just FYI there. If you're looking for a fantastic attorney, there you go. Anyways, 53 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out talking about the things that we talk about on this lovely show. So let's talk about some whack facts right now on this lovely Tuesday. When you become really close to someone, you can hear their voice in your head when you read their text. Think about that for a moment. People who regularly play video games are faster at making real-life decisions. Sweden pays high school students $120 a month to attend school. Lettuce is 97% water, tomatoes are 95% water, and bread is 30% water. Things to think about real quick. By walking an extra 20 minutes every day, the average person will burn off 7 pounds or 3.18 kilograms of body fat per year. Something to think about. The first Ford car had a Dodge engine in it. Some things that you probably did not know when it's all said and done there. Anyways, let's talk about some scoops of BS for the summer here. The summer menu from Starbucks features a returning favorite in 2 new Frappuccinos. The Unicorn Cake Pop returns, plus a new Strawberry Funnel Cake Frappuccino and Angioplasty double diabetes Frappuccino. That's all available for you. A California weed delivery company is still looking for interns to smoke weed, write reviews, and rate products. Applicants were told to meet in person by 2 p.m., but everyone slept in. Kanye West is 44 today. It's that one day of the year when he allows everything to be all about him, if you don't count the other 364 days. A poll has revealed that the top things women worry about regarding their appearance. They include hair, sagging skin, their hips, belly, and of course, being seen in public with a burned out, insecure radio announcer. Hold on. Was that about me?
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, doctors say that eating leafy green vegetables improves your sex life, which goes a long way in explaining why the Jolly Green Giant is always saying ho ho ho.
Oops. What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Anyways, let me tell you the most important thing that I'm going to tell you all day throughout the whole show, so here you go. Let me tell you about my friends at the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Know that you're not alone, whether you have struggled with suicide yourself or lost a loved one, or know that you're not alone. Hear about personal experiences from people in your local communities whose lives have been impacted by suicide and depression. If you want to find out more information, go to afsp.org. That's afsp.org, or call 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-TALK, or text the word TALK to 741-741. Before you do anything, if you're contemplating suicide or you're going through a rough patch with depression, go ahead and contact the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Believe me, it's so important that you do so. Let's continue talking about some other things as we're getting towards the end of the show. At the top of the hour, I will be going over to RadioBig.fm exclusively. If you want to come out and hang out, we listen to some music, talk about some things that are going on inside of the world of entertainment. Or you can hang out on SafetyFM.com, where we'll continue talking about some things that are going on inside of the world of safety, if you're kind of curious about some of those things. Anyways, let me tell you about a random joke for today if you need to use one. Politics are looking for trouble, finding it everywhere, misdiagnosing it, and misapplying the wrong remedies. If you need a phone starter for today, ask this question. What's your guilty pleasure? If you need something for the water cooler, question. This happens more often on a Tuesday than any other day of the week. What is it? Being late for work. Kind of weird how that works. Anyway, so you've been listening to the Rated R Safety Show exclusively on RadioBig.fm and SafetyFM.com. Now, keep in mind that Safety FM is the home of real safety talk. We can't do what we do without you. The most important part of Safety FM, the listener, and of course on Radio Big as well. So thank you for always coming out, hanging out, and taking a look whatever the hell we got going on around here, because we never know what we'll be doing day by day. Anyways, if I can leave you with a thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. Every now and then, it's good to stop climbing and appreciate the view right from where you are. We never seem to take a moment to take a look around and see how far we've come. It's interesting that sometimes we're more concerned about the destination than worried about the journey. Don't worry about the journey or the destination. Take a look around and appreciate the things that you have. Sometimes we tend to forget that, and being thankful can get you a lot further than what you'll ever imagine. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, goodbye. If I don't see you at the top of the hour, I'll see you tomorrow.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.